I think Merlot's coming back. Red blends are huge. We're seeing a lot of people, just like all of the wines from Bordeaux, where you have that blend of Cabernet and Merlot and Petit Verdot and Malbec and Cab Franc, and now you're seeing that happen in Washington. You're seeing that happen in California, where a lot of the winemakers are taking those particular red grapes or white grapes and really bringing that blend together.
And do you think these shifts, are they because the winemakers are just trying new things, or is it a younger... I see so much happening with these generations, and you've got some older generations that prefer more traditional wines, and then maybe the Gen X, Gen Y, millennials are saying, I want to try something a little sweeter, a little more fruity. Do you owe the shift to different tastes, or more the winemakers trying new things?
A little bit of both, and I think that it's what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Because what you're having is, before the social network, before the internet, you literally had somebody who was a winemaker. They went to school within that particular area in France, or it was somebody in California who went to UC Davis and they were the enologist, went through that there, became the winemaker. Now what you're seeing is that particular person that might have gone through the trade in Old World is now going and flying across, getting some impact from some of the producers more New World in California or Oregon or Washington State. And so there is the phenomenon of saying, even the flying winemaker, right? So somebody in Australia, they're off season, they go someplace else, and then all of a sudden, because of our interaction and informational regard back and forth and the sharing of that information, all of a sudden you are having an influence on something that you were doing in Australia that now I never even thought of when I grew up in France or Italy, vice versa. So I think there's very much a sharing of information. I think there's definitely respect for tradition in certain areas of the world where it's how we've always made it, and so I want to protect what's always been made. But then there's also that level of creativity to say, well, you know, the law says I need to do this within the world of creating wine within that AOC, or, you know, that particular ramification there. And then I want to be a little bit creative, so maybe I make a IGT versus a DOCG. Now I'm getting off the beaten track, but that really is, it's trying new things and then breaking out of that traditional shell. Right. So I think a lot of it has to do with, yes, what has been, and the trendier Generation X has a lot to do with it, because they're going to try something and all of a sudden in 15 seconds it's on my Facebook, it's on my Twitter account. I'm able to put it out there, and then somebody's following you, and here I am trying to figure out, okay, what is it that you're wanting? What is it that you saw halfway across the world and you're posting it now and nobody here's ever heard of it? That sharing of information and that instantaneous knowledge, I think, is what has really changed the hospitality industry.